we had everything going against us.
Yeah, we were young, we were broke, we didn't know anything about business. We literally started from nothing.
We were never supposed to make it. Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey guys.
Welcome. Episode 8.
Yes, welcome back.
It's crazy. It feels like we're on episode 1.
Really, I feel like it's more like episode 100.
Wow. All right. Well, I'm having a good time.
Hey, that's not what I meant. I just meant that I feel like we've gotten really close to you guys over the last 8 episodes. And, we want to thank you guys really for subscribing and commenting and for all the support, all the thumbs up, all the suggestions, all the reposts on Instagram. It really means a lot to us, and it really gives us feedback as far as we're on the right track with the topics that you guys want to hear and you guys want to learn more about. So thank you guys so much. It really means the most to us.
Yeah, no doubt. It's been a lot of fun, and we've had a lot of requests for one specific topic.
Yes.
We do want to thank you for sharing, though, because subscribing, when we started this YouTube channel, we had no clue what to expect.
Yeah.
And by the time this airs, we're probably over 900 subscribers, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And so it's fun. It's a lot of fun, and it's cool to know we're adding some value. So one of the requests that we've gotten a lot of, we just got back from our Wealth Bowl, and I don't know if you've ever seen a broom, but we swept the house. I'm just going to throw that out there. And the reason why I tell you that is we got a lot of requests for one specific. What?
I
don't do any sweeping at home, so I got to do it somewhere.
In the most humble way possible,
Yes.
I promise.
I say that humbly in the sense that we have done one thing well, which is we've created a team culture, and we've been blessed to be a part of a very, very good team.
Right. Tenacity, which if you guys don't know, that's our team, that's our family, is amazing. And honestly, I'm sorry if you're watching this from another team, but I have no doubt that it's the best team in the whole entire company. And I mean that with my whole entire heart, mind, soul, everything.
And one of the constant, consistent requests that we've had is to do a topic on how to build a culture and how to establish a very strong team, a ride or die, like people that will run through walls for you type of culture. And I'll be honest, I think we have done a very good job of that, but we do not take the credit for all of that.
Right, absolutely not. Yeah, it's definitely the people that we've surrounded ourselves with, and we just work with amazing people. So,
and we've been blessed. We've been blessed. God's been very good to us in putting
the right
very
people.
Good people in business with us. But we've also had times when we couldn't always say that necessarily. That we were working with everybody from top to bottom was solid and met what we were looking for.
Right.
And I will just start by telling you, before we go into about 7 or 8 key points on building a culture, I'll start by telling you that you're in control of who you recruit. And you coming into business, you have 100% control over the quality of people that are on your team and whether or not they're the type of people that you want. And there's no right or wrong answer to that, but you're in control of that. So I think point number 1, I'll just dive in. I think is you got to get clear on exactly what you want your environment to look like.
Right.
And more so what you want your environment to feel like, because it's a feeling thing. A culture is a feeling thing. Why don't you talk about that a little bit, Ronnie?
So I want you guys to picture, your office, wherever your team meets, even if it's your team within somebody else's team, because this can start as early as when you're a training associate. So when they walk in that door, when they walk into that team meeting, when they walk into that environment, what do you want them to feel like? And that could be a wide range of things. When he said there's no right or wrong answer, it's 100% accurate, because you could have something that looks more corporate. If you want that to be your office environment, their office culture, you could have something more corporate. You could have something more untraditional, like not traditional, like a Google, right? Or a Facebook kind of type of environment. You could have people who are high energy, who are more competitive. You could have people who are, maybe not as, outspoken, but they're heavy producers. You just have to really get super clear on what you want. And I'll tell you, for Jay and I, when we first started in business, we were just excited to have an office. We were excited to start, and we didn't even stop and think about the type of environment we wanted. We just knew we wanted people.
Yep.
And that was our first mistake, because What ended up happening is because we weren't clear on what we wanted, we attracted anything and everything, which was not a good mix. Because when you're not clear, you attract different personalities and different energies that just completely clash with one another.
Right.
And now, having learned from that mistake, we're super clear on what we want within our team, and we're willing to protect that environment at all costs. Yeah. Even if that means having to remove some people from time to time, and because they're not a right fit for our environment. So when we were starting, what would you say are the top 2 or 3 things that you look for in an environment?
One, an environment, a culture is built with people. Mm-hmm. And so that's true no matter where you go in the world. Every place you go has a culture, and that culture is established by the people that are there. So one of the things that I've looked for, especially now that I'm aware of it, mm-hmm. is a couple key things. Number one, good people. They got to be likable. They have to be people that I enjoy being around. If I'm trying to spend a
lot of time with them.
If I'm trying to build something, right, these are people that I'm spending time with and I'm investing into. So that's number one. They got to be likable, and I got to like them, and other people got to like them. Number two, I like people that have a background of winning, that have played sports before. They've done well in business before. They've done well in school, whatever. Like, they're used to winning, because winners find a way to win. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to have a culture of losers. Like, you don't get that ride or die when you have a culture full of losing. Winning is an important part of a culture, especially in our business.
So competitive people.
Competitive people that have a background of winning. And then people that are hungry, that they're willing to do late nights. They're willing to do early mornings. They're willing to come for an emergency meeting. They're willing to give up other things because they want to be a part of something that's great. Mm-hmm. And I like between like 25 and 47 to 48 years old. A lot of times, just there's no right or wrong age.
Right. No.
But we've established a culture that's probably 25 to 48 on average, and it's because they're at that point in life where they went to college, they did that whole thing, they got a job, they realize they hate it, it's not what they want. Mm-hmm. Or they're in their 40s and they're like, dude, man, I got like 20 more years, I'm burnt out, I need a change, I'm behind on retirement, I got debt, I'm trying to put my kids through college. By the time you're like 40, 45, your kids are at that college age in a lot of cases. And so it's like, how the hell am I going to pay for this? And so they're hungry, they want to win. And I think that's kind of the clarity on like what I look for in a culture and environment. People want to be a part of something that wins.
Right.
They don't want to be around. They don't want to be on a losing team. Like, if you're getting drafted into the NBA right now and you're getting drafted to the last place team, it's like, it's cool, I'm there, but God, it's gonna be a frustrating ride. Mm-hmm. But not everything starts off winning, and so you develop that winning culture. And I'll tell you, I think number two, other than once you get past like what I want my team to look like.
But I think you have to be very specific about that.
Like
you were talking about.
1,000%.
Like, okay, between these age ranges, obviously you're going to have some people younger than that and older than that, but that'll be your target market as far as like what you want your office to look like. And then the things that he's describing, right? Competitive. For us, diversity is really important. We want our office to look like the United Nations. You know, it's so when I look at what I want my team to look and feel like, I want somebody to come into our office, and as long as they have the right ethics and the right energy, I want them to look and see somebody like them and go, okay, I can win here too. I fit in here. I don't want them to stick out like a sore thumb.
They find someone that looks like them.
Exactly. So those things were so important to us, especially, you know, I mean, look at us. We're kind of, I would say we're a little diverse as far as, you know, everything goes. We're a little not normal. So
it's true though. You walk in our environment, there is someone of almost everything. I mean, it's very diverse. We did not do that on purpose though. Right. Like, I was not going out saying, today I need to find a Chinese. Like,
no.
That's not how it was.
But I think it's because it's who we are, which brings us into our next point, that's how it ended up becoming.
Yeah, I think once you know what you're looking for, point number two is you need to become that person.
Right.
Become that person. The culture starts from the top. It's established by you. Mm-hmm. You show me a losing team, I'll show you a losing coach. Mm. You show me a team that sucks, I'll show you a coach that sucks. You show me a sports team that can't get along, I'll show you a coach that can't lead. And so at the end of the day, like, everything rises and falls on you from the top. So if you are establishing a culture and you don't represent what you're trying to build, good freaking luck. You're going to get nowhere.
That goes down to even the tiniest little minute details. You want a team that shows up to training, you better never miss a training, right? You want a team that produces, you better produce. You want a team that recruits, you better recruit. You want a team that's competitive, you want a team that's vegan, you become vegan.
Friends, not food.
Yes. You want a team that's competitive, you better be the most competitive person. Because if they ever feel like they're more competitive than you, they're working harder than you, they're more excited than you lose complete 100% faith. You just lose it. You lose the whole culture. It's a very delicate thing. It's hard to build up, but it's very easy to lose.
A culture, people want a team. What they really want when they say, hey, how do you guys build that team? Is say, I want a team that's going to fight for me, like Tenacity fights for you and Ronnie. But then I look at them and I go, well, you're not fighting for your coach.
Right.
You're not putting any damn numbers up. And so the way we fight for Dan is that we're his number one freaking team. We recruit the most. We produce the most. We show up the most. We sell the most tickets. We're the loudest. We cheer the most. We cheer for everybody.
Right.
Like someone paid me a really good compliment at Wealth Bowl. They said, hey, Jay, I just want to tell you, your team is the rowdiest, but they're also the most respectful.
Absolutely.
And that meant the world to me because it's a team of people that, they're going to hip, hip, hooray through the whole event. And they're going to be loud and they're going to be obnoxious and annoying, not because they're trying to be, but because they're proud to be a part of Tenacity. They're proud of that, but they also cheer for everyone and they're respectful.
Yeah.
And they fight for us because we as a team fight for Dan.
Yep.
And that's where the culture is. It starts from the top. Like if you're a piece of shit, you can't expect to have great people on your team because you attract who you are.
Here's a great example. Okay, let's say, and this has happened to all of us at some point, you're driving your car and your tire blows out, right? You got a flat tire, you're stuck, whatever, you don't have AAA. And so you're outside your car and you're trying to flag somebody down. You know what people don't realize is that if you just start trying to fix your car by yourself, the chances of somebody pulling over to help you are so much more likely than if you're just standing there going, help me with a sign. Your team has to see that you want to win, that you are willing to put in the work, and they'll jump in and help you. But if you're just there begging them, fighting with them, trying to get them to work so that they can push you up, it's just never going to happen.
Yeah, if you're selfish, you will recruit selfish people. And then it's going to bother you. When I was a kid, my parents used to say something to me that had never made sense to me until I got older. Which is there'd be someone I didn't like, and they go, well, you realize the reason you don't like them is because they're exactly like you. And I was like, what? That pisses you off as a kid because you're like, no, I don't like this person. They're a freaking idiot. And then your mom's telling you, well, it's because you're an idiot. But right. But I never got it. I never understood that. But it's true is that you recruit who you are. If you want a culture of giving, then be a giver. If you want a culture of teamwork, then be a team player. If you want a culture that's competitive, compete. If you want a culture that recruits, then freaking recruit personally. If you want a culture that produces, produce. If you want a culture that makes money, you better be making money. If you want a culture of ride or die, like Tenacity, we're a freaking mafia. We're a mix of a fraternity / family / mafia. But if you want that culture, dude, you've got to become that. And what people don't understand is they're already a part of a culture. They're already a part of a team. And they go, well, my leadership didn't establish that. Our office is dead. Well, dude, it's because you're in it.
Right.
Go in there and lift the freaking place. Go up there. You want a team? You want your team, your office to start competing? Then start winning. And carry the team. Become the freaking Michael Jordan of your office. What people don't understand is they go, I'm in an office that sucks. Well, dude, your leader's sitting there saying, I got a team that sucks, and you're the one on it. It's like, it doesn't matter because I would rather be in an office that sucks than in an office that's crushing it, and I don't stand a chance to become the MVP. Like LeBron came to the Lakers because the Lakers sucked. But he's a leader, so he said, I'm going to come here and I'm going to put the team on my back and we're going to get a championship. Like if you're in an office with a culture that's not established, this is your shot to be the reason one is established. And then someday when it's a freaking empire, you're the one sitting on top.
But the problem is that most of the time you're acting like a manager instead of acting like a leader.
Right.
You want to sit there and tell people what to do and how to act and how to be, but you're not embodying any of those things.
Right.
And they see that. They 100% see that. You know, you're telling them, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that if you want to win, blah, blah, blah. You may already have a title and they don't have it. And so you feel like that gives you that moral authority, but it doesn't, because they see what you're doing day in and day out.
Yep.
And so if you want to win, you have to become that leader. You have to live by that example. You cannot be a manager. They need to feel that you're in the trenches with them. And that goes with the good stuff and the bad stuff. I think part of the reason why our team is so tight-knit is because they've seen our successes, but also they've seen our failures. They've seen us go through tough times, not give up, not get discouraged, push through it, and come out on the other end. And that shows them that they can do it too.
So I think we should put a bullet point on that we would call that being someone worthy of respect.
Yes, 100%.
Because
Yeah.
no one respects a quitter and a pansy and a whiner and a complainer.
Yeah.
And someone who sits around and
Why
becomes,
has this happened to me?
Yeah, well, woe me.
Chargeback City, they quit.
Yeah. I grew up with no dad. That's why I have all these issues. Like, no one wants to hear that shit.
No,
Be someone worthy of respect, which means that you don't make excuses. You just get the job done.
yeah.
That's the start of a culture.
And it's not you being fake or inauthentic. No, you're being real, but you're saying this is my situation and this is how I'm going to get out of it, and you're showing other people how to do the same.
Yeah. And on your point, a culture is not established and a culture doesn't exist with a bunch of managers.
No.
A culture doesn't, because managers don't do anything. They just manage things.
Yeah.
A leader leads. So if I'm starting today and I'm at 0 and I'm trying to create a culture, I'm going to go out and I'm going to start recruiting, and I'm going to build leaders, not managers. I'm going to teach people how to get in the front and do the work. And we're going to establish a culture that's built on hard work and getting the job done and doing whatever it takes no matter what.
Yeah, and that's two things. It's the difference between being a manager and a leader is, number one, you have that vision and you're sharing it with your team and you're putting the work behind that vision to make it happen. But it has to start with you.
Right.
And they have to know where you're going. And they have to know that they have a part in it.
Right. Right. 100%. And I think as you start to create leaders, you get some buy-in. And you get some buy-in. A culture has to have some buy-in. People have to go, you know what, we're going to make this thing great, and I'm all in. And that starts with having some conversations with your team. Like, hey, you realize that there's 10 of us? You realize there's 3 of us? You realize it's just me and you? I don't know if you caught on, but you're the only one here. You're the guinea pig. Let's freaking blow this thing up.
Right. You and me together.
Let's make it big. When there's 1,000, they had to come behind us.
Right.
They can't go anywhere else. It's just us. Right now, we're a dud. Nobody knows who we are. But you want to know something? A culture is powerful. And once you can establish, like think of all the cultures that exist. Christianity is a culture. Okay, people call it a cult. Apple, that's a culture. People call it a cult. What's the culture of Apple? You go sit at Starbucks. You know, we had this conversation in another episode. Got your Apple lit up on the other side. 177 mental toughness secrets of the world class. I'm just kidding. But you understand my point is that that's a culture.
Right.
The Android, dumb phones, smartphone, dumb phone, the dumb phones. That's a culture. Everyone likes this BlackBerry, Blueberry thing.
Is that still a thing?
Whatever those things are. The other phones that aren't Apple phones. Okay, it's a culture. Everything's a freaking culture, man. I mean, you name it, it's a culture. Fraternities, clubs, gangs. Kids join gangs because it's a culture. My point is a culture is a movement. It's not about finance. It's a movement. It's something I want to be a part of because it stands for something.
Vision.
And the vision, like for tenacity, it's loyalty, integrity, vision. That's our culture. That's what our entire company is built on, and our values are that we win. We win big, we win clean. We play by the rules. We leave no one behind.
We're a mafia.
We're a mafia. You start with us, we're going to drag you to the top. I mean, any culture had a movement. Adidas is a culture. Nike is a culture. Everything is a freaking culture.
So you have to decide what your culture is going to be.
Yes. And it's got to be exciting, and people have to want to be a part of it. Branding is a big part of a culture.
Yeah.
Social media is a big part of a culture. But you can't just want it. You got to work for it. This took us 8.5 years to build. And I'll give you an example. If you want to see what that looks like, go on my Instagram and go to my highlight reel. And there's a highlight there from MVP 2018. There's a highlight reel there for MVP 2019. There's another one that's called like Mic'd on Stage. And you get to see what that culture looks like. And it's exciting when you have people that they buy in because they respect you. They buy in because they see you work. They buy in because they know that you're willing to pay the price for them up front. They know that you care about them, that they're not just a dollar bill, right? Mm-hmm. They know you've got their best interest. You're willing to go to war for them. You're willing to fight for them. You want them to win just as bad as they want to win, and you're willing to put yourself out on the line to get that done. Like, that's how you establish a culture. And people will attract to that because when they're in your environment, they feel good.
Yeah, and it's not just saying it, because it's so easy to sit there and say it. That's the first step, is to vocalize that to your team and to let them know where they are and what your goal is. But that's not enough. You have to actually do it, and it's in the day-to-day. For a lot of, a lot of other people in our hierarchy, or if you follow us on social media, you see the end result, or not the end result, but you get what I'm saying? Like, you see
the results of having a culture.
But it starts with the day-to-day. So it goes through those times where, you know what, like, you're not having a good day, but you end up staying at the office till 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, right, because your team needs you to help them hit their goals. Or sometimes you end up having to give away a recruit or give away your commission because, whatever ends up happening, the situation, things get mixed up, and it comes, down to you losing your commission or they getting it, whatever the situation is, but you end up giving it away because it shows that you care more about their success than you care about your own.
It's a giving culture.
A giving culture, yeah. Putting them first, putting their goals first, cheering them on, cheering on their victories. Yeah. Making a big deal about it. They want to see that you really care about them, and that comes way more from your actions than what you're saying on a daily basis.
Right, and you're constantly pouring belief into people. Constantly. Like, when they're not performing, like, dude, what the hell? I freaking believe in you.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you work? Why don't you want this? Why do I want it more than you? Come on, let's freaking do this. Let's do it together. Pick up your freaking phone. Let's make calls. We're going to do it together. Sometimes it's staying late, not because you need to stay late, but because your team's having a bad day and they need you, and it's 11 o'clock at night, and instead of going home, you're like, hey, meet me at the freaking hookah lounge down the street. Let's go chat. Let's go hang out. Like, it's constantly pouring belief into people. Someone asked me, how do you describe the energy that it takes to build that culture and run a 1 million point base shop? Someone asked me that question, and I thought about it for a second, and I said, if you can imagine this, it's like going to Disneyland with 100 kids and trying not to lose one. That's exactly what it's like trying to build that culture. Going to Disneyland with 100 freaking kids and trying to leave with 100 kids.
That's so
right?
True. Yes, because you lose like 3 of them. You're like chasing after these 3, and then while you're chasing after these 3 are kind of getting into some mission. It's exactly like that.
It's a lot of work, man. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of work, and people, you're carrying the emotional burden of your team. Like some of you have 1 or 2 people on your team, and you think you're dealing with a lot of shit, and I'm like, dude. So someone asked me the other day, but I hear this a lot. They go, from our team, they go, dude, I don't know how you do it. And I'm like, how I do what? And they're like, you got 150 and I only got 3 and I'm already worn out. And I'm like, here's the key, is that you observe, but you don't absorb. Which means I hear, I see, I can feel it, but I don't absorb it. I don't let it penetrate me. I don't let it F with my head. And when I go to bed at night, I wash myself from the crap, whether it's I do my nighttime meditation, which I got a great video on, or I do read a book, or I just kind of unwind and like get this crap out of my head, and then I go to sleep, and I wake up the next day when we kill the day, whether it's you start with the gym or whatever, but you don't absorb, but you're carrying the emotional burden of your team. Trying to build that culture is a lot of work. It's going to Disneyland. And when you leave, do you have everyone you arrived with?
Right.
Every day, someone's trying to commit WFG suicide. Every day. I got someone on the team right now as I speak into this mic that's sitting at home going, I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if it's for me. I just don't know. I don't know. And they're burnt out. And it's us trying to find that person and bring them back to life before they give up on their future.
Yep.
It's crazy. It's fun. So let's talk about establishing that culture. Next step would be, I would say, to establish some major, defined, clear team goals.
Yeah, because a lot of time your teammates, maybe they're not clear on their goals, they're not clear on their why, they can't see themselves yet individually winning at a high level, but they can see themselves contributing to a team who wins at a high level.
Good.
And if you can enroll them in that, in your vision, in the bigger goals and purpose of the team, they can start there and they can win within that team. And then eventually they can grow their belief and win as far as their own goals and their own identity and their own team culture goes.
Yeah. There are a lot of people in the business that they sit in the meeting and you're talking about promotions or rings or any of this stuff, and they're sitting there and they like, it's frustrating to me, but at the same time, it's just part of the game. It's frustrating to me that I have people on the team that I want to see win so bad, and they don't even see it for themselves. Never, but they continue to show up because they're part of the culture. I want you to remember something. Your contribution to your team goes far more than just your numbers. Your numbers are not your contribution. Your contribution to your team starts with your commitment to being there, your commitment to being a team player, your commitment to encouraging other people even if you're having a bad day, your commitment to bringing energy to the environment. Your numbers, yes, don't be a dud forever. Don't be a zero forever. Get off of zeros. But your contribution is far greater than just your numbers. And a lot of people, they don't have a culture because they're not establishing team goals. They're just chasing individual goals. And then you have these people that come on the team, like Ronnie said, and they're just like, I ain't never going to get a freaking watch. I don't even want to get my ring. I don't even care. I don't even want to make $100,000 a year. I'm fine. But as a team, collectively, there's nothing more powerful than a group of individuals collectively putting all their time, effort, and energy to accomplish one common goal as a unit.
Yeah, I mean, think about all these major nonprofit organizations or even GoFundMe's. They put this tracker, this thermometer. We want to raise $1 million. Now, if they said, hey, they told me, hey, you got to make $1 million for this organization to really make a difference, I'm going to go, oh my God, I can't even picture making $1 million to donate to this organization. But if you say, hey, like this is our goal, as a society, as a team or whatever, just contributing to that goal makes me feel like, oh, hey, we hit that goal. We hit that $1 million to donate.
Heck yeah.
It's a big deal.
Heck yeah. I watch the videos, our MVP videos, and there's these people that are just there. It gives me a lot of joy, and it makes everything worth it. When I watch these videos and I see people that are just fired up, man, they're freaking cheering their hearts out and they're whooshing so big. They all lose, literally, guys. Our team culture, our team's crazy. I'm not even exaggerating. When they're competing at Wealth Bowl of who loses their voice first. This is a real thing.
It's a badge of honor.
This is a real freaking thing. And then they're trying to talk in the team meeting just so, excuse me. Because they ain't got nothing to say. They just want you to know they don't have a voice anymore. Mm-hmm. Like, it's literally a real competition. They're like, I lost my voice first. No, you didn't. I lost my voice first. And they're so freaking fired up about it. But my point is that these are people, some of them, who ain't put up a damn app in 6 months. Mm-hmm. But you know what they are? They're part of a freaking winning team. They go home a winner because they're part of the team. And I believe in that.
And because that is helping retain them, they're sticking around, they're going to win.
Yes.
They're going to win. Maybe it's not today. Maybe it's not tomorrow. Maybe it's not in 3 years, but they're going to win at some point.
Yes, and they will win because we will make damn sure that they win.
Exactly, because we strongly believe that in our firm, organization, company, that good people win.
Yes. And everyone.
We'll make sure they win.
I believe everyone is destined to win. Yes. I always say everyone has an appointment with success. We don't know when it is. You got to do your part.
You got to show
God
up.
will do his part.
Yep.
You do the work. God will bless the work. You got to freaking earn it, man. You got to deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
You got to deserve it. Like, God's not going to bless your prospecting if you do it once a month. Like, he's like, dude, screw you, man. I put all these people around you and you only talk to one of them. Screw you. You don't deserve it. You keep on freaking selling uniforms. You keep on flipping burgers. You keep on showing up because you haven't earned it yet. Because you got to do your freaking part.
Right.
But I believe everyone's going to win. I believe everyone's going to get there. But you have to do your freaking part. But you have to chase those goals and then celebrate your wins.
Yes.
Talk about celebrating wins real quick, because there's big wins and small wins. But for someone, a small win is a very, very big win. And for other people, it's a little bit different. But you got to celebrate them. Talk about it.
Some people would call us cheesy because we make a big deal about the little wins. If you come to our trainings, we make a big deal about the little bits of progress that everybody on the team makes. Some people would call us cultish because
Hip.
Yeah, hooray, we make a big deal about it. But the thing that you don't understand, if you're thinking that, is that most of these people have come from a job or are currently at a job. Why would they want to spend more of their time at something that is exactly the same? So when our teammates come and they're 50 minutes late to the training, we're not yelling at them from the front of the stage. Why are you late? You know you're supposed to be here on time, blah, blah, blah. They can get that at work. We're celebrating the fact that they showed up. So
Yeah, because you don't realize the amount of bullshit someone might have had to get to the meeting at all, even if they're 50 minutes late. How do you know they didn't get off, have someone else pick up their kids because they wanted to be at the meeting? They didn't even eat dinner.
they're sick.
They're going through,
Their boss
they had a
yelled at 'em.
terrible day. They got in the carpool lane all by themselves and risked a ticket for 30 minutes on the freeway because it was the only way they'd make it on time. They finally get there and they're like, oh my God, I freaking made it. At least I made it. And then they walk in and you're like, why the hell are you 50 minutes late, dude? Like, that kind of stuff is what kills a culture. It kills the morale of a culture. And I've seen that before. And I've had times in my career where I was frustrated when someone showed up late. And then one day I realized, like, man, dude, this person might have went through freaking hell to get here at all. Mm-hmm. And then I'm just shooting them down. And the only reason they showed up is because they hate their job. They're freaking miserable. Their job's killing their self-confidence and their self-esteem. They're in a toxic work environment. Or they're not. Whatever. It doesn't matter. The point is that they're here 50 minutes late because it meant something to them.
And my point in saying that is that we're trying to pour into people's cups, not take from it.
Right.
And so when we're saying we got to praise their little victories, whatever it may be, that's what we're doing. We're pouring into your cup. You're making effort. You're working. And so that's why we're praising your little victories and we're celebrating them, because those little ones are going to turn into big ones. And you have to remember to do that. It might not be a big deal to you, but it's a big deal to them. So you can't shortchange them. You gotta celebrate it like it's the first time anyone in the world has ever done it.
Some people have gone their whole life, like, we forget that adults want to be appreciated. That everyone has this button on their face that says, push here and make me feel good. Like, everyone wants to be appreciated. And when you're a kid, like, you'll do anything to get a gold star to go put on your freaking board next to your name. And then as adults, we forget that adults want to feel good too. Adults want to win too. And you could bring that inner child out of somebody. There's nothing cooler. Like, some people, I remember sitting with a client who was in his 60s. No, he was 70 and he was on the team. And this 70-year-old man, he may have even listened to this, I don't know. This 70-year-old man was so fired up about his name badge when he passed his license. So fired up about his name badge that he not only did he wear it, when he would go prospecting to Target, he would wear his name badge. Literally walking around Target with his name badge. And I remember one time I'm like, hey, you wearing your name badge everywhere. He'd go to Area Wide, he wear his name badge. He'd go to convention, he wear his name badge. And you know what he told me one day? He said, Jay, I worked 50 years in corporate America at the bank. 50 years. And he said, I had never gotten an award since high school. Literally since high school was the last time he got an award. And so can you imagine going 50, 60 years without winning something? And that happens for adults every day, every freaking day.
Yep.
And so we as a culture, we celebrate everything. You fail your test, hell yeah, you freaking failed your test. All the best people fail at least once. The biggest people in the company all fail. You pass the first time, it's a sign you're not going to make it because you don't know what it's like to have to fight. But you fail this thing 2, 3, 4 times, dude, you're a freaking stud. I knew you were a stud.
Right.
That's our culture.
Yeah.
Last thing I think is if you really want a culture and you really want that freaking mafia, is you got to find a flag carrier.
And long story short, you have to find somebody who wants to win as bad as you do because they will be your running partner. And if you do all the things we talked about up until this point with that person, they will declare themselves the flag carrier. Now, we've never gone to somebody and been like, hey, Jay,
Want to be the flag carrier?
do you want to be my flag carrier? Like, only one person can do it. Do you want to do it? We've never done that. It's just that people rally behind you, and then you'll have that one person who wants to run as fast as you do, and they declare themselves the flag carrier.
Heck yeah.
But you have to keep going through all these things that we've just talked about until you find that person. And they will reveal themselves.
Yep. And not only will they reveal themselves, now you have someone else on your team that's building the same culture you're building. Mm-hmm. And now you build it twice as fast. And then you got a layer of leadership. You got 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, 30, 100 people that understand your culture, and they are building and recruiting into the same culture.
Yep.
And then you've got 100 of those people, and then you got 500 of them, and then you've got the whole entire freaking WSB or all of Pinnacle. Like this is how this stuff happens.
Compound growth.
Is it starts from the top and it compounds when people are bought in and they understand your culture clearly and they could explain it. They could tell it. They could say, someone says, what's your culture? They could say it. They could literally describe it because it's a feeling. It's an emotion. It gives you the chills when you think about it. Now you've got a bunch of people. You got an army that gets it, and then they could help you duplicate that. Mm-hmm. But it starts with you.
Yeah, starts with you.
Starts from nothing.
Yep.
And don't mess it up.
Yeah.
I mean, if you mess it up, start over.
We've been there. Done that, and we've learned from it.
The Bible says that the pruning is painful, which means that sometimes you have to cut and shrink in order to grow.
Yep. One of my friends always used to say, sometimes you have to cut off the foot to save the leg.
There you go.
So you can take that however you want it.
Go home and don't cut off your foot.
No.
But you get the gist.
Yes.
All right, guys. Hey, we appreciate you. Thanks for dialing in and watching this. You know, at the end of the day, this is it's something that's important to us. It's something that we really enjoy doing because we enjoy seeing you guys win. Some of you guys leave some freaking cool comments, and we appreciate every single time you share it. It really, we do not take it for granted. It gives us a lot of purpose, and I remember being hungry and pissed, and I remember wanting to win. And so we do respond to everything, and you know, it's fun. We should continue to hopefully hit every single topic that you guys want to hear about. So, whoosh, boom.
All right, thanks, guys.
Awesome. Take care.
Love
See you
guys.
soon.